I don't think that it is a solution. I think that getting up and fighting back is a solution, but I think it's one that comes from a very privileged place. I had my mom to support me. I had a psych nurse. I had a doctor. I had people who are there to support me. Lots of girls don't. Lots of girls don't have anybody that they can talk to. And this is specifically true for brown, Black, and Indigenous women or women of color. We in our colored communities are very notorious for like, keep your mouth shut, don't talk about it. It's a family secret. We don't talk with other people about what's going on under our basement doors, right? We leave it alone because we don't want to make it worse, right? That is how we were always, all of us were conditioned to be growing up.
Welcome to season 5 of the Be Your Own Kind podcast, where we interview individuals that are basking in the lane they have created. To keep up with all things BYOK, visit our website at beyourownkind.com. While there, stop by the BYOK shop to grab our merch to add daily inspiration to your life. BYOK has also created a Facebook group that offers giveaways, business advice, and lots of laughs, and most importantly, sisterhood. Have time for a chat or to just get acquainted with your girl? Go to our site and click under bookings to set up a 30-minute coffee chat. Be sure to tune into the BYOK 2 Cents Live every Wednesday at 9:20 Central Standard Time on the BYOK platform YouTube channel, or you can listen to us on Fluent Radio at www.fluentradio.com. Last but not least, if you love our content, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and share our episodes. Or if you feel so inclined, send a donation to our PayPal at paypal.me/BYOK24. Thank you for rocking with us each season and enjoy the episode. Oh my God, you guys, I have been blushing and gushing over Devon for like 10 minutes. Oh my God, I'm such a fan of you. I miss you. We have not talked in so long. Oh, I need my dose of Devon.
Hi, baby girl. I love you too. So much has gone on this year that I haven't had the opportunity to come on the show and be with the Be Your Own Kind audience. And it is my favorite podcast to be on. So I'm really, 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 really happy to be here.
Yes, I'm so happy that you're here. I mean, let's get into some things. What's been going on?
Oh, let's see. I moved out of my old apartment. I was homeless for a while. I'm now housed, and I have a new book coming out that I started prior to leaving my apartment. Wrote while I was homeless, finished while I was housed, and yeah, it's been a year.
Wow. What's the book about?
So the book is a collection of essays. It's part memoir. It talks about the things that I went through growing up in the Catholic Church and the abuse that I experienced. It talks about the residential schools, and it talks about girls in Canada and how our voices are not heard and not listened to and not respected and not treated with the respect that they deserve. Lots of people look at Canada and they go, oh, it's such a great country and everybody's so kind, everybody loves a Canadian. But the thing is that girls suffer exponentially in this country. Our education suffers, our mental health suffers, and we're not talking about that. We don't talk about it in Canada. We're very good at keeping our secrets and pretending that everything is fine on the surface. Meanwhile, underneath everything is bubbling. And so this book is really dedicated to the girls of the world who feel like their voices have been stomped on and not heard.
I love that. And you are so right. Before I met you, I've only went off of like TV and media. Like, you guys are, people don't even lock their doors there. It's super safe. It's equality there, comprehensive health care, which I think is actually true. But it's like everybody's just holding hands and kumbaya. And I feel like one of the ignorances of America is we think that racism is only here. We think that inequality is only here. Crime is only here, but it's all over the world. You know, it's Black people fighting for their lives everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Right, and it's really easy to point to America. Canadians are notorious for like, well, you could live in America. Yes, I could live in America, the land of the free. the land where a black man could become president in the same building that a black family built for the presidency of the United States of America. I could be in that country, right? And things are really bad out there for people who are black, but things are really bad here for people who are black. And so I think what I want to do with my work, especially with this book, is to open up a can of worms and say, look, these are what the problems are for girls growing up in Canada. Let's fix them. Let's really have a comprehensive conversation about what it's like to be a girl in Canada. We have the number one, and statistically speaking, we have more murdered and missing Indigenous women in our country than anywhere else in the world. Oh yeah, we're not talking about that. Can Femicide is an organization, Canada Femicide Observatory is an organization that tracks murders of women in Canada. And what they do is they track the statistics, because CanStats, which is our Canadian Statistics Organization, doesn't track the statistics of violence against women in Canada. So they go to outside sources. When you see statistics on what's happening to girls in Canada, you're seeing statistics from outside sources. It's not Canada that's checking these numbers. It's not Canada that's keeping a record of these numbers. It's country. It's outside organizations within the country of Canada that are keeping a record of the number of girls that are murdered and missing in Canada. So we have a long, long, long way to go before countries like Canada or England or Australia can point the finger at places like America and go, well, look at how bad it is there. Because, it's just as bad here, right? And we need to talk about that a little bit more.
Wow. Yes, we do. I didn't know that at all. I'm glad that you bring an awareness. My question is, what made you bring awareness to this?
I was almost a murdered and missing woman. I wasn't an almost murdered Indigenous woman, but I was almost a murdered and missing woman. I was abused. I was gang raped. I was tortured. And my abusers very nearly killed me the last time they got near me. I have very seriously considered suicide in my lifetime, and I very considerately chosen that that's not the path for me.
Right.
But there are lots of girls out there who choose that as a solution, and I don't think that it is a solution. I think that getting up and fighting back is a solution, but I think it's one that comes from a very privileged place. I had my mom to support me. I had a psych nurse. I had a doctor. I had people who are there to support me. Lots of girls don't. Lots of girls don't have anybody that they can talk to. And this is specifically true for brown, black, and Indigenous women or women of color. We in our colored communities are very notorious for keep your mouth shut, don't talk about it. It's a family secret. We don't talk with other people about what's going on under our basement doors, right? We leave it alone because we don't want to make it worse, right? That is how we were always, all of us were conditioned to be growing up. And I discovered through my years of studying abuse and learning about patterns of abuse that in communities of color, it is very traditional to not talk about it. And I am very comfortable being the girl that says the things you're not supposed to talk about. If I come to the barbecue, I'm going to pull open that lid. I'm going to talk about your cousin sleeping with your cousin's cousin, whatever, right? That's me. I'm the gossip queen. It just so happens that I'm choosing to use my gossip powers for something that's a little more powerful than, family secrets. It's important that we tell girls it's okay to talk about what's being done to them. And it's important that we teach them that they have autonomy over their bodies and they're allowed to say no. Because I didn't know that. Nobody taught me you're allowed to say no. And that was, for a lot of girls my age now or younger, it was kind of constant, right? Things would happen and nobody would say, hey, wait a minute, you're allowed to say no. You're allowed to have respect for yourself. We were shamed into believing that abuse and sex were the same thing, and they're not. And it took a lot of years. It took, I don't know if you've ever seen SVU, Law and Order SVU. That's a show specifically about sex crimes, and it's been on the air for about 35, maybe 40 years, I think. And it is specifically about real life sex crimes that have happened, right? And so it's a very triggering show for a lot of people. But the one thing that it has done is it has brought to light the fact that sex crimes actually happen. And they happen across the spectrum to everybody.
Right.
Right? It doesn't matter your gender, race, creed, nationality, orientation, size, what job you have, how much money you have, who you know, who you don't know, what connections you have, what connections you don't have. Somebody you know has been sexually abused, if not you yourself.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And so my job as a writer and a social commentator is to tell people that it's okay to talk about these things. It's okay to have those conversations. But also, more than that, I think it's also my job to teach people how to have those conversations with my work. As a mental health patient, that's what I spend a lot of time doing. It's like, okay, if you're going to have the conversation about mental health, make sure you talk about symptoms. Make sure you talk about this. Make sure you talk about that. Make sure you explain I'm coming from a place of trauma or PTSD or anxiety. And people are more inclined to be like, oh, that's why the way they're behaving that way. Maybe that's why they're talking too much. Maybe that's why they're not talking at all. Maybe that's why they're not eating. Maybe it's anxiety. Maybe it's depression. Let's open up that door, have that conversation, and find out so that we can solve those problems and make it a little bit easier on people to deal with.
Yeah. I'm kind of speechless of all this information about, I don't know why. I'm shocked because you are right. Sexual assault, all of that is everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Sex crimes happen all over the world. And it's still, I was in one of my previous podcasters episodes. She said that sexual assault is so common now that it's just like everyday thing. Like, oh yeah, such and such got blah blah blah, such and such, and she's like, it should never be taken as like a everyday happenstance. Like it needs to be important every single time it occurs. But now it's just seems like it's daily life. Oh, such and such got assaulted today. You know, that's how
I think what it is that people are putting up walls. Because since the Me Too movement, it was like, oh, okay. Prior to the Me Too movement, we had a very much do not talk about it, do not ask kind of mentality as a society, right?
Right.
And then the Me Too movement happened, and it was like, no, we have to talk about this. But now we're about 10 years away from the Me Too movement, from when it originally started, right? And I think what's happening is people are getting terrified. People are like, oh my God, like it won't stop. It's a bit like terrorism. Mm-hmm. Once you open that door and you say this is terrorism or this is sexual assault, it doesn't stop. Because you have a story, I have a story, she has a story, he has a story, they have a story, we have a story. Everybody has a story, right? And at a certain point, you just got to go stop. I cannot take any more. Yeah. It's like Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. God love them. God damn, I love these two as a couple, as human beings, as humanitarians. We love us some Auntie and Uncle Will and Jada, okay? But I could go the rest of my life with never hearing a goddamn thing about their fucking lives as long as I live.
Did you hear that they're thinking of doing a book called Don't Try This at Home? Like a collective book. And then they're bringing back the Red Table Talk on 2024. Like, haven't we gone through enough in this 2020 era? Like, it's enough. I've had enough.
There are some celebrities
who deserve this. We just don't deserve this.
Would go away. Kanye West is number one on that list.
No one really talks about him that much now because
he's crazy.
Yeah, he stabbed himself.
Will and Jada, God love them. I love Auntie Jada. I love Uncle Will. I think they're wonderful people. I don't want to hear any more about their goddamn marriage. I don't care.
But he's not doing it. It's her.
Here's why I don't care. Because it's not a collective decision.
No, it definitely
It's not a couple's decision that they are making together to share this information. It is her putting his feet to the fire every single time and making him look like a fool. Now, I don't think that he looks like a fool, okay? I think he looks like a man who is clearly got some issues in his relationship, but I don't think he's as comfortable being as open with his life as she is.
No, I read today on Instagram that the children are feeling bad because he just wants to heal. And she keeps picking at wounds, picking at wounds, picking at wounds. Now the kids feel bad for him. And a lot of people are like, well, he's just a crying husband. What is he supposed to do? Because if he comes out outraged, then he's this angry black man. Like, what do y'all want him to do? What do you want him to say? Like, I think what he's doing is appropriate. She's inappropriate. And I did a video about this by the time this publishes, probably a couple of weeks ago. But in real time it was like this week, but by the time I published it, it'll be a couple of weeks. But basically she resents him. Like when they first got together, he spearheaded everything, you know, and she went along with it, and then she realized, well, I was just codependent. But I'm starting to think that sometimes people are using this codependent crap as a an excuse to just be a narcissist or an asshole.
I think there's definitely a certain degree of narcissism there, because Jada Pinkett Smith hasn't had a project, like a fictional project, in a really, really, really long time. I don't think.
Yes, she has. Tupac. That is her fictional project.
Damn, Mama went there.
That is definitely her fictional project. She even went to the point of saying if Tupac was alive today, her and Will would be friends. From the same person who said in his book he was intimidated by this dude. Why is Will Smith competing with a dead person? And that's why?
I don't think that he's competing with Tupac. I think that Tupac was this larger than life character, right? When he was alive. I remember looking at him and thinking, like, he reminded me of my dad growing up. They had the very same, like, kind of gang life mentality, but also very spiritualistic at the same time. And he was this massive figure. And Will Smith was kind of a nobody. He was kind of just this nerdy little kid, showed up in LA, got lucky, and became a star overnight. But he was very clean cut. He was very much like the boy that you would bring home to mom and dad. Ain't nobody bringing Tupac home to mom and dad. That ain't happening. I don't care who you are. You were not bringing Tupac Shakur home to mommy and daddy.
Tupac was
that is not happening.
He wasn't even a real gangster.
He was a real gangster. He was gangster enough to get murdered in the street and shot at repeatedly and go and have his own beef with
it was association. He literally he was an artist. And then when he got
an artist,
boy,
he was a philosopher,
he played the part. Not bad boy. I'm sorry, Death Row. He played the part.
You cannot deny that. Look, this is what we do, right? We as women do this. You do this with Kanye West all the time. We accelerate or accentuate the positive, right? And we ignore the negative. The fact that Tupac was a gangster was not a bad thing.
No, but I'm saying
it's not a bad thing. He is a descendant of the Black Panthers. So he got that mentality from freedom fighting, right? And when you think about
freedom fighting, and then after he played
the kind of gangster that he wasn't the typical G out on the street slinging dope and making money for the sake of making money. He was doing it to perpetuate a career in the rap industry. Survival. That was always what he wanted. It was always his goal. So when we sit there and we say, well, Tupac was a spiritual gangster, we're not diminishing his existence or his legacy. We're actually honoring it by being honest. Tookie Williams started the Crips, okay? We're not going to sit there and be like, well, Tookie wasn't a gangster. Of course he was a gangster. Of course he was. And to deny that is to deny a part of his legacy that made him who he was.
But the only reason I would deny Tupac is because I watched documentaries about people that was around him, and they said he was one way, and then after he did his character in Juice, that's what he was forever. Like he just turned. They said he turned into this gang like person, and he never was that prior to. Like he wasn't that deep prior to that movie, and so after a while he played the part, and then when he didn't want to be a part of it anymore, he was trying to get out of death row, but unfortunately he passed away. But he didn't like that. That wasn't.
No, okay, I'm going to correct you. He didn't pass away. He was murdered, and we got to honor that.
Okay, he was murdered.
He was murdered.
No, I know that,
honor that.
I'm
because
just
that's a part of our Black history, right?
But my point is, he died before he was able to get out of it. You know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the life that I come from, right? That like I was a good church girl until I wasn't a good church girl, until I was gang associated. And I'm lucky. I am very lucky that I got out. But part of the reason that I got out was because I wasn't out there bragging about the life, right? I wasn't making a name for myself. I wasn't challenging other gangsters to come after me to make a reputation for myself. And unfortunately, men like Tupac, Snoop, Dr. Dre, Eminem, Eazy-E, G-Eazy, oh my God, all of them, that's what they do. That is the job that they do. It is to go out there and to challenge another MC to come after you and be the bigger guy, right? And what people forget, I think, is that there's a big difference between Tupac's life and the kind of gangster he was, and then the kind of gangster that's out on the street now. You know what I mean? Like the guy that's not making records, that's not trying to better himself. Tupac was always trying to better himself. Always. He was always spiritual in everything he did. Yeah, DMX, always spiritual in everything he did. It was always about God. It was always about like, God can judge me. I'm here for a short time. I know this. I'm going to do my thing. And I'm going to do whatever I can to be who I want to be. Tupac was always, to me, a mentor, a teacher, a philosopher, a spiritual guide. He was so many things to so many people, right? And then you look at Will Smith. How the fuck do you live up to that? Tupac was larger than life.
But Will was in Tupac, a sense too. He just was. He was white. He's white bread. And like that raisin bread with all the flavor, but he still was bread, right? He still has his own flavor. He just don't taste the same as Tupac. That's it. They both touch, because here's the thing. I'm inspired by Uncle Will. I love Uncle Will. I follow Uncle Will. I'm inspired by Tupac in certain areas, and I am inspired by Will Smith in other areas. Either way, there are two people that rose up from where they were and made great of themselves. That is absolutely where they compare right there. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? And what they were men that tried to be the best versions of who they were themselves, and that is what they have in common, which I can understand why Jada fell in love with Will for 5 minutes before she realized she was really in love with Tupac. But I'm just saying, like, because she wasn't in love long. Y'all gotta stop perpetuating the stereotype that she was in love with Tupac. I think the idea that she was in love with Tupac is more of a fantasy of the fans than it is of her, because she had her chance. If she wanted to be with Pac, she could have been with Pac. She grew up with him. She made it clear. We kissed. We had our chance. To her, and she turned it down. So I mean, so she didn't want that life. She thought she didn't want it, but now she regrets not. And she's in a world of regret. That's what she did. So? If regret was I think she is figuring out who she is, and I think what's interesting about her journey, is that not only is she figuring out who she is outside of Will Smith, right, which is pissing off the fans to no end, it's making them all angry. I think she's doing it publicly, and I think what's kind of cool about this, and people might disagree with me and I'll understand why, but I think what's cool about this is that we don't hear women in their 50s talking about this shit. We don't. We don't hear the aunties talking. And I think that it's important. Maybe we don't like what the discussion topic is, and I can understand that.
I don't necessarily want to hear any more about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith either. Okay? But I do like that she is finding her voice outside of what other people are telling her to do. Because I don't think that her advisors are like, yeah, you should go do this.
My problem with her is if you're going to tell the whole story, tell the whole story where there's never, ever accountability. Ever. Ever. And that's my issue. It's one thing to tell your story. Will had a whole book and all he did was hold himself accountable for absolutely everything. She still to date is blaming him for everything. She even gave Chris Rock grace when instead of her husband who defended her. She said, well, I told Chris Rock this was just something that happened. Even in the midst of Will defending her, she still gave more respect to the person that was humiliating her than the person that was protecting her. That is a whole nother level of resentment and a lack of accountability, and that's all I gotta say about her.
I don't disagree with you. I think that if I had a partner who put himself in the position of throwing a punch for me, I think that I would feel very honored and respected, but I'd also be very shocked. I'm not used to people defending me, and I don't know how to react when it happens.
Right.
And that's for me. That's for me a trauma response. That's whoa, somebody actually defended me. I don't know how to react to that.
Right.
And it definitely throws me off my game a little bit when people want to try and defend me.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm not living in their marriage. I'm not living in their heads.
Thank God. You should thank God every day you're not living in it.
Feel like I'm living in their marriage. Damn.
But you know what? To each his own. Like you said, she's telling her story. That's the upside of it. But at what cost?
Well, and that's not to bring it back to myself, but to bring it back to myself. That's something that we all think about, I think, as content creators. And at the end of the day, Jada Pinkett Smith has become more of a content creator and producer, right, than she has been an actress. She hasn't been an actress for like a working actress for a bit now. So she's more of a producer and a content creator. And I think when you come in, there is a fine line between like how much do you share. Like when I wrote this new book, it's very much like this podcast. It's like I rip the Band-Aid off first to get the trauma out, and then I start talking about all the other stuff, right? All the fun stuff that's gone on in my life. And so there is a certain amount of like, yeah, I can see why she's sharing it. I probably wouldn't go that route, but I get where she's coming from. If she's bringing back Red Table Talks, she's probably going to have him on the show. I don't know that it's going to go the way that she wants. But I wish her the best of luck with it, I guess.
First of all, we need a Will Table Talk. That I would watch. I just want to know what Will really feel in real life. Like how does this anyway. This I feel like now I'm acting like you act when I take up for Kanye. Like I can't. I can't.
Yeah, no, I hear it. I
can't. I mean, this time around there is no argument with Kanye. The only thing is he wants everybody to know he's autistic and not bipolar, but that's pretty much it for him.
Welcome to Cooking with Curves, the cookie shop that also teaches you how to bake cookies. But first, let's get into these cookies because that's what we came for, the cookies. So we bake oatmeal-based cookies in 9 amazingly delicious flavors. And you could come in, choose from one of our flavors, and get it boxed up in a 4-cookie box, a 6-cookie box, and a 12-cookie box. And also, every Saturday and Sunday, we have hands-on baking classes for all ages. So you could come in, roll up those sleeves, and make some cookie magic with us. Fun, easy, and cookies are involved. So, of course, it'll be sweet. Book your next baking experience with us at cookingwithcurves.com. It'll be like the sweetest decision like you ever make, and you so won't regret it. So, stop through, pick up some of your faves, or come to one of our baking classes. We can't wait to bake with you all. See you soon.
This episode is sponsored by BetterHelp. People often think anxiety looks one way, but it has many faces. and many emotions that sometimes can be overwhelming and daunting. I know about this feeling all too well because at a point I felt powerless to my emotions, almost to the point of drowning in them. So I decided to seek out a therapist to later learn that I have generalized anxiety disorder. If you have been experiencing the same feeling, please know that BetterHelp is here to help. BetterHelp offers licensed therapists who are trained to listen and help you. You have the option of talking with a therapist in a private, online environment at your convenience. There is a broad range of expertise in BetterHelp's 20,000 plus therapist network that gives you access to help that may not be available in under 48 hours. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire to help assess your specific need, and then you get matched with a therapist in under 48 hours. Then you will schedule secure video and phone sessions. Plus, you get to exchange unlimited messages, and everything you share is completely confidential. Thanks to therapy, I learned the tools that I needed to conquer my anxiety and over obsessive thinking. I did it afraid, and I took that leap to talk with someone, to later learn that it was going to be okay and that I was going to be okay. Please know that you can request a new therapist at no additional charge anytime. Join the 3 million plus people who have taken charge of their mental health with an experienced BetterHelp therapist. And better yet, get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/BYOK. That's betterhelp.com/BYOK because you deserve it. So, I don't really have anything more words to say for him.
No, I
still listen to his music though. I still rock with him musically though.
Him, Drake, there's a couple others.
Now that's your people. Drake is your people.
Look, Tory Lanez.
That's on you. That ain't on us.
Look. Once upon a time, I don't know if y'all know this, Drake was on a TV show called Degrassi. And in the show, his character got shot and he lived in a wheelchair.
Mm-hmm.
And then somehow he convinced himself he was a gangster. And he birthed idiots like Tory Lanez into the world. And all I can say is it's not from my side of the country, okay? It's Eastern Canada. They're a different breed out there. There's something in the water. I don't know if it's the weed. I don't know what the hell it is. But Drake ain't my people. We don't fuck with him in Western BC. He ain't, no. We deny any Canadian citizen. In fact, I'm going to go with Alberta here and say that Canada should separate into different countries because I want to be as far away from Drake and Tory Lanez as I can. The two of them are just... They make Kanye look sane.
I'm gonna refrain from my Tory Lanez. Me and you would probably get this will be the whole episode. But with Drake, his ego is beyond him. And the fact that he's tied up with Michael Jackson right now.
You're gonna have to explain this to me.
That's gonna make this. It's gonna make.
So what's happening with Michael Jackson?
So he is tied with him on the Billboard as the most albums with #1. All he needs to do is make another album or another song get on the chart, and he has beat Michael Jackson's record.
Okay, well, first of all, Michael Jackson was a pedophile, so who cares? Secondly, Drake is an idiot.
What you're not finna do is disrespect Michael Jackson on the BYOK platform. That I don't understand why we don't like the same people. I just don't. It never fails. It never fails.
I'm about to get kicked off the show.
That is what you deduce Michael Jackson to? Are you serious?
He was a seriously disturbed, preterm.
He wasn't a disturbed person. He was a person that never had a childhood, that was put in situations that he shouldn't have been in because he was a kid.
You're not wrong.
No proof that he hurt anybody to date.
No, Lord. Okay, I retract my statement.
I'm just saying
he was an alleged child perpetrator.
Thank you.
Who
I will take that. That is true.
Who was also, at the end of the day, very isolated from the world. Very isolated.
Because
as a child,
he
as
hated
a
the world
star, as a human being. Yeah, no, I get all the reasons, right? But he was just very isolated from the world. And so to me, I always thought of Michael Jackson as somebody who was very sad. Just a sad person who just never really got to enjoy all that life had to offer.
That's true.
Because I think that we as a society did this to him. We lactate on what is happening with celebrity culture. Right now, I am so angry at Hollywood. 700 celebrities signed a letter over these dead babies in Israel that are not dead. Like, it never happened. The beheaded baby story was a lie, and it's a verifiable lie.
Back up. I never heard of it. No, what is
so
the story?
In Israel, they were saying that Hamas killed 100 babies and decapitated them. And it was all over social media. But like, even the president of the United States said it happened. It turned out to be a lie. And so 700 people in the celebrity world, including Gal Gadot, who used to fight as an Israeli soldier, signed a letter against Hamas and against Palestine and against Giza. And now all these horrible things are happening in Giza and nobody's paying attention. And there are actual dead babies in Palestine, and I can't be on social media because I'm seeing people on my social media stream laughing at dead babies in Giza. And I'm like, we are so uneducated. We are so miseducated. We are so disinformed on purpose by these evil governments that they are manufacturing rage over babies that are not dead and then killing actual babies, and we're laughing about it. I think, I'm not gonna lie when I say this will probably be my last book for a while, because I'm never gonna be okay with, you know, Black people in Ukraine not being able to go over the border to escape the war. I'm never gonna be okay with Black people being kicked off the train in favor of white Ukrainians. I'm never gonna be okay with Palestinians being murdered en masse. And then having governments lie about these murders to protect an evil regime that doesn't deserve to be where it is. Like, I'm not going to be okay with these things.
Right.
And so when we're talking about celebrities, like, I've just come to this place where I'm like, it no longer serves my high purpose to judge celebrities or to be angry at them because they just do the dumbest shit repeatedly.
It's entertaining, to say the least.
It doesn't stop. It never ends. There's always some celebrity stepping in shit. And in light of everything that's happening in the world, I just no longer care, I think is what it is. I think I've just come to this place, Renita, where I'm like, you know what? I can't do it. Except for Vanderpump Rules.
I've never seen it. We live in two different worlds. We don't like the same.
It's so messy.
Shows. Wait a minute. You like something messy?
It's so messy.
I'm shocked you even watch something like that. Is that a reality show?
It is. Yeah. Yeah. And I like Desperate Housewives.
What about the Housewives on Bravo? I like Housewives.
Yes. Yeah. I like the
Housewives of Potomac is everything.
I'm really digging Atlanta right now.
See, I never got into Atlanta. I only got into... Last time I watched Atlanta, Kim and Nene Leakes was arguing about a song that Candy... It was real old, girl. I don't know none of them people now. Like, I only know about, like... I watched Potomac. Giselle, like, them my people. Like, I don't...
Yeah, no, I love me some Giselle. She's pretty
even though everybody hates her, I love her.
I like Giselle because she tells it like it is.
That's why I like her. What you see is what you get. I love people like. That's why I love you. You know, like, because it's no guessing. Like, what you see is what you get, and I love what I'm getting. So, yeah.
Well, thank you. I will take that. I will embrace my. And I was almost gonna put makeup on for you today.
Well, you're so beautiful. I mean, the only qualm I have with you is your hair is in a ponytail. Like, that's it. I love her hair, y'all. If y'all have listened to our past episodes, I'm always talking about her hair. Except for last time she had it shaved. Yes, I love your hair. Oh,
it's grown out quite a bit.
Yeah, it was
it.
shaved last time we talked to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're such an honorable person. Like, I think that I kind of black out from a lot of world stuff because I don't think my spirit can handle the evilness. Like, I mainly know about stuff because of you or looking at your Twitter, and then I'm like, oh, what is this, you know? But I think I get caught up in like the pop culture stuff because it's like a distraction. Like, you know, like it's
no,
just,
and I get
it's
that.
just rich
I get
people
that.
like
I
doing
have
crazy
moments
things.
where I will dig into TMZ and I'm like, I'm there. I'm 100% in. I'm looking to see what Chris Evans has done this week. I want to know what Mark Ruffalo's done last week. I want to know what Ryan Gosling's doing. Right. I have my moments where I dig in, but I think it's just this week where my spirit's like, no, I can't.
Yeah.
Let them be stupid. And you know what? God grace our celebrities because they do give us something to distract us from the horribleness of the world and the evilness of the world. I just wish they would make smarter decisions, some of them. You know, I wish that politically speaking, they were a little more aware.
Yeah. They're irresponsible with their influence. I will say that.
Well, and I actually have an essay titled in my book called Ethical Fame. And it asks the question, do you have it in you to be famous? And like, are you willing to give up all of the things that you have to give up? Your privacy, your freedom, your sense of self, your understanding of who you are outside of what other people want from you. Like, can you give up all that stuff and be famous? Because I don't think that I can, which is part of the reason why I think this is going to be my last book for a while.
I don't know if you follow Cardi B, but Cardi had said a while ago, she said she wished that she had obtained the wealth without the fame. She was like, because my life is an open book and I don't like it. And I thought that's the first, like most celebrities be like, you can have fame, give it back. But she actually broke down her reasons why. And, you know, like, she say, don't seek fame. You know, she said, seek the wealth, don't seek the fame. And I'm like,
but you know what? Christina said that, and Brittany said that, and Sandra said that, and like all of them, they've all said that. If I could be rich without the fame, that's what I would do because everybody knows my business. And part of that is like, part of me goes, yeah, I get that, I understand, I commiserate, but part of me goes, I don't care. I'll take your problems. I will absolutely take your problems.
Yeah, but it kind of messed them up. I was watching this video about kid stars and how much they were exploited and, you know, and assaulted and, you know, was robbed of their childhood. What is the girl who is it Judy Garland? Is that the Wizard of Oz?
Yeah.
She was treated terribly from like age 5 or no 3 and up. Like she was sitting on, it was a clip of her sitting on a grown man's lap. This is supposed to be like her father in the movie. And she's sitting on his lap and she's singing, Daddy, how I would love to marry you and be with you. That is so inappropriate. And she was like 4 or 5. And I'm like, oh my God.
Well, and that goes back to what I was saying earlier about how, like, this is conditioned. This is the way that girls were treated in the 20s and the 30s and the 40s and the 50s and the 60s and the 70s, all the way to the 90s. It comes from a time when girls were less than. Yeah. And right now, where we're at in our society, we are in a place where we are saying, no, girls deserve to be treated equally. And a lot of men are like, no, they don't. And a lot of people, including a lot of women, are showing us who they are when we say this is inappropriate behavior. It's not okay. It shouldn't have happened. And they're like, oh, no, that's fine. It's not a big deal.
A lot of men are coming out talking about their abuse, too. I don't know if you've noticed it. Because it used to be a thing where that would be hush-hush, but now men are saying, no, babysitters and all type of people mess with me, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm loving that.
I think that what's his name? The host of America's Got Talent.
Terry Crews.
Oh
yeah, they teased him though. They teased him.
Yeah, they did. Terry Crews came out, and the guy that played the whale, Brendan Fraser, came out and said that it had happened to him as well.
Okay.
And people kind of, but see, here was what was interesting to me. When Terry Crews came out and said this happened to me, and it made me feel really uncomfortable and maybe put me in a really inappropriate position, people made fun of him. When Brendan Fraser came out, people were like, they heroized him. They were, oh, what a hero, and he's so cool, and you know, for him to come out and say that, it's so brave. And blah, blah, blah. It's like, okay, you can't have it both ways. Either you're going to support survivors when they come out, or you're not going to support survivors when they come out, period. Pick a side of the road.
Yeah. That's what ageism too, though. Like, I don't like the fact of how people do, you know, Nikki grandma and all of that. And I'm like, she's just 40-something years old. Like she's not that, like, even with other celebrities, Nikki is the only one I can think of now, but a couple of women, they're like, well, you should just hang it up. She's just 40-something. Like, no, but nobody tells Beyonce to hang it up. Nobody tells her she dressed inappropriately. Nobody tells her that twerking is she's too old to be twerking. But anybody else, and Beyonce's like over 40. So
I will give you my soul if you can prove to me that you walk up to Beyonce and tell her to hang it up. I will sign over my soul to whoever videotapes themselves telling Beyonce to stop doing what she's doing.
No one gonna do it. But if it's a Nicki Minaj or I don't know, that's all I can think of.
Do you want to know why? Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because the world is more comfortable with us as victims than they are as us as sexual beings. As victims, they can ignore us. As sexual beings, we are in your face. As victims, we do not exist. We are unimportant and we are not needed to be listened to. But as sexual beings, we force you to listen to us. We put it in your face and we will not stop.
That's true.
It's women's empowerment that terrifies people into thinking. Like, I remember when Ice Spice came out, people
I like her.
I love her. Yeah. Men on my timeline were losing their shit. How dare she? Why does she have to sell sex? Why can't she keep her legs closed? Why does she have to talk about sex? When Wet Ass Pussy came out, when WAP came out, men were crying in the streets, openly weeping. Because this song came out and it was so offensive.
What is the difference than them saying suck my this and do my stuff in hip hop? Women are just talking. It's the same subject. It's just a different. I get what you're saying. It's a different gender saying it. Speaking of this, because I don't want this to leave my head, because it's a little on subject but off subject. How do you feel about the Lizzo situation? We haven't. I thought about you when I found out about it, but I really want to know your opinion on that.
I'm not surprised.
Why not?
I think because this is what we do. We lift women up. We give them an opportunity to show that women can do it, that they can have everything, right? Mm-hmm. You can be big and beautiful and talented, and that people will want to see you on stage. All of these things are true about Lizzo. What might also be true is maybe she's not the nicest person in the world.
Two things can be true at the same time.
I am not the nicest person in the world. I'm a brilliant writer. I'm a great speaker. I have a lot of talents, but when it comes to leading a team, I'm not very good at it. I'm really not. I'm not a self-starter. I'm really good at delegating and like telling other people what to do, but I'm not really good at like showing them how to do it. So I'm not overly surprised. Do I think it kind of sucks? Yeah. I think it's really sucky that like the very first plus-sized pop star that we have ever had who is of her age demographically is in this position. I think it sucks. But I'm also not surprised. It would have been something at some point eventually.
That's true. I knew something was gonna come out about her. I just didn't want it to be this.
Yeah.
It's like they were waiting to find something on her.
Well, and Kel said it best on Medium, paraphrasing her article. She said, "This is what white supremacy does. It lifts people up just to tear them down." So it's really easy to sit there and be like, well, Lizzo sucks and she's a bitch and how dare she and blah, 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 right? But is it though? Like, did Lizzo get maybe a little bit too comfortable with her dancers? That's possibly true.
Well, yes. And I say that to say that I feel like she just was trying to like incite fun and push them into kind of being like her and this and that, and those girls just weren't. So I feel like it's a case of not paying attention to your audience. Like for the willing participants, fine, but if it was people that didn't want to do it, you should have just respected that. Like that's how I looked at that.
Yeah. But I mean, again, we have to think about the fact that Lizzo is coming from a position of privileged power. She's a woman of color. That's a strike against her. She's a fat woman. That's a strike against her. She's a woman. That's a strike against her. She's vocal about her opinions. That's a strike against her.
Yeah,
right?
Not a strike.
All of these things are already strikes against her. So there was always going to be a reason why people should hate Lizzo. Yeah. This just happens to be a kind of valid reason for people to dislike Lizzo.
I still don't think it's valid till she's guilty. I know it's all alleged, but it's too many people with the same narrative, which makes me sad because that kind of makes it look true. Yeah, I'm real sad about that. And I still think she's doing what she came to do. It's just gonna be a little bit more challenging. That's all.
I mean, it's not like her career is over. She can still sing. She can still dance. She can still make $1. She's gonna be fine.
You say her career is over?
No.
Oh, she did lose a real big opportunity to be on a Super Bowl. It is Usher, which is well deserved as well.
Is it?
Oh, come on, Devon. You are just stabbing me in the heart this whole episode. You don't like Usher? Come on.
He has like one good song from 20 years ago. Look. Here's the one thing that I will say about the NFL hiring Usher. It's another year with another black artist, and I really like that.
You stressing me out.
I don't like Usher.
You're stressing me out. Usher has, wait a minute, his second album, My Way, 8701, Confessions. Those 3 alone was like...
Right, Confessions, where he basically admits to being a complete and total douchebag.
That wasn't his story. That was Jermaine Dupri's story, come to find out. That's what they said. It was Jermaine Dupri.
That's what they said.
But either way, I mean, the album did make him seem kind of, well, yeah. But it was a really good album.
It was a good album. 20 years ago.
He got a song out now that's pretty dope.
Does he?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know the name of it, but I heard it. It's pretty good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's Usher. He's a legend. He's kind of like...
It's Rob Zombie. When Rob Zombie has a new album, I will be all over it.
Yeah, I mean, just like, I hate to say this name because you might just click off, but just like Chris Brown, like, he's steady making music and things of that sort. So, I mean, they kind of named him like a king. Like, I just feel like there's staples in R&B, like Usher and... I'm talking about the music only. Usher and Chris Brown are kind of like staples in the R&B world, like, so it don't even matter, like, if they keep pushing out music, like, their status is their status, is what I'm getting.
Okay.
And I'm talking about the music. I was afraid to even say his name. Speaking of Chris Brown, I'm going back. Unfortunately, I'll tie him to Rihanna. Why does Drake think it's okay to down a married woman, hence Rihanna, on his album? Like, didn't they date like 50 years ago?
Because
Yeah, we didn't finish
Drake's
Drake.
only true claim to fame, the only reason that he matters in the dysphoria that is music is because of Rihanna.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. Would you care who he was if he hadn't dated Rihanna?
Beginning Drake, yes. Like when Drake came out, I loved his music, and I like Young Money. First of all, Lil Wayne is like the best rapper. So anybody that was tied to him, I like Drake just for the simple fact he was an endorsement of Lil Wayne. And then when he first came out, everything. But over time, I don't know. Like, I don't know if egos got big. I don't know what happened. Like, Drake lost me. He lost me around one of them albums. I think
He never had me.
is the last song that I actually liked of his.
He never had me. I've never listened to a Drake song. Ever.
As many Drake songs, you've never heard a Drake song?
I've never heard a single Drake song.
Oh
my friends, when we're in the car driving and Drake comes on the radio, I'm like, he hit Rihanna, and they turn it off.
He hit Rihanna?
Mm-hmm.
When did he hit Rihanna? Drake?
Didn't he?
No.
Oh. Well, whatever. I won't listen to his music.
He got dumped by Rihanna, but
okay.
He didn't hit Rihanna.
I don't care. I don't listen to his music.
See how everybody think that everybody hit Rihanna? No. Drake didn't hit Rihanna. I'm not laughing. I'm just saying Drake didn't. He didn't hit Rihanna.
Okay, whatever. I don't know where I heard that. I don't know how I heard it. I don't know why I heard it. But the point is, I have never heard a Drake song. I will never listen to Drake. He's not gangster. He's never been gangster. He ain't never gonna be gangster. I can show you the neighborhood he grew up in. There's a church down the street. Okay, there's white picket fences. The boy was fine.
I know now. Look, ain't no argument here with gangster with Drake. That's pretty obvious. Tory Lanez. I didn't hear about Tory Lanez till Megan. I don't really know too much about him. So. But it was a song that was on the radio, but I didn't know that was him.
Yeah, Tory Lanez is a nobody. Like, I can guarantee you, nobody in Canada knew who he was until he shot Megan Thee Stallion with.
Wow, I mean, but he got a whole catalog of songs. Like, apparently he's a big deal.
Who? Drake?
Yeah. No, not Drake. Tory Lanez. Tory Lanez.
No, who's he a big deal to? Drake?
No, he got a whole umbrella, free Tory. He got a whole thing. People are really like advocating for him because they believe that his sentence is too hard.
American people.
You say America? Okay. Well, America's torn.
Canada doesn't care.
You know what?
Canada thinks you can keep him.
Well, the fact that he was arrested, he's gonna eventually have to go back there. Because he's your citizen. So I think because he was convicted, they gotta send him back.
No, I'm gonna put up a petition asking Mr. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau to revoke his citizenship so he has to stay in America.
No, America's gonna kick him back over there. I promise.
No, we don't want him.
America's kicking him back.
We have enough dumb black guys here. Thank you very much. We don't need any more. We're outnumbered.
Have you heard of Chrisean and Blueface?
No.
Okay, that's probably good. You don't look it up. You'll be enraged.
What is it?
He's a rapper, and she's someone. I guess she's a rapper too, but he signed her, whatever. Basically, they've had shows together, everything. They both beating each other up, toxic relationship. She had a baby with this dude, and as soon as the baby came, he dumped her and went back to the previous baby mama. She's spiraling. It's bad. It's bad. Yeah, it's a long story. I thought you knew about it, but yeah.
I have been celibate for 7.5 years.
Wow.
And it has been the best drama-free healing years of my life.
Wow.
Live without men. It's so good.
I like my husband.
Well, yeah, because your husband is rare.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. I really do.
He's nice, and he's really good looking.
Thank you.
I've seen pictures.
I think so too. Yeah.
He's fine.
Yeah, but I feel like I hear what you're saying, but I feel like there's somebody for everybody, and I think that we are meant to mate and be with people. I mean, by choice. You don't have to, but I feel like if you want to, your person is out there.
Nope.
You don't think your person exists at all? I feel like later in life you're gonna find somebody that sweeps you off your feet.
It's gonna suck for them, isn't it?
So that's it. You're never dating again.
I'll tell you what. If Ryan Gosling is ever single, yes.
Just Ryan Gosling, huh?
You know me, I like the white boys.
Okay, so what if you have a Ryan Gosling, Chris Evans like dude who sweeps you off your feet? You just gonna let him just walk away?
Yeah.
Wow, Devon.
I really like the idea of building my empire alone. Like Oprah.
She has Edmund or Stedman.
Yeah, but she didn't find him till she was like 54.
That's true. She did build her empire alone. However, she's not alone. That's my point. She has somebody now. Oh, everybody needs companionship.
I have Mickey Mouse. Actually, I got Black Panther.
Let me find out Pez Dispensers is your companionship. Oh my God. It is always great talking to you, man. It's been an hour. You. I didn't even know that we have even been on this long. Oh, I have to ask you the question though. Because it changes every time I ask you. If you can describe yourself in one word, what would it be and why?
Awesome.
Why?
I'm awesome.
Yes, you are.
Because I say so. Because I have decided that I think I'm awesome, and that's the way it is. Because I do. Because I genuinely like myself. I like my friends. I like my life. I like living with my mom again. Like we're finally we're communicating better. We're actually talking to each other. Like we have conversations now.
Nice.
I'm just in a happier and healthier place than I've ever been in my life. My bedroom is a mess, but it's essentially the only room in the house that is a mess. And like, life is good. So I'm awesome. I've decided.
The difference between you and the other episodes here is you're very calming. Very calming. And I love it.
You think I'm calming?
I think, yes, you are just so zen. Like,
yeah, I am.
You're different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A friend of mine showed me this horrible picture that her ex-boyfriend posted on Facebook with a really heinous caption, and I'm not going to tell you what it was, but it was really evil. And I just kind of looked at her and she's like, "You're very calm." And I'm like, "Yeah. Inside, I'm very calm, very relaxed, but it doesn't mean that I'm not feeling my emotions. It just means that I'm very stoned. I smoke a lot of weed. Like, it's ridiculous how much weed I smoke. Seriously. I highly recommend everybody just be stoned always.
And then you'll just be calm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how it works.
But I don't understand how people get stuff done. Like I told you before.
No.
I didn't get nothing done.
When this is over, I'm going to smoke a joint. I'm going to turn on some music and I'm going to power clean my house.
Oh, wow. No.
And then I'm going to make dinner.
That's not my life. I would be asleep. I would literally be asleep, get nothing done. I would be asleep. I don't know.
Yeah, but again, it's all about the strain that you're smoking, right? It's all about the strain. It's all about the strain that you're using. Mm-hmm. It's all about when you're using it, how you're using it, and why you're using it. So I could get you a strain where you don't smoke it, you eat it like an edible, and maybe it doesn't put you to sleep. Maybe it helps you clean, or maybe it helps you meditate, or maybe it helps you relax, or maybe it helps your back problems. Maybe it helps your eyesight. Maybe it helps one of 1,000 things that cannabis helps that doesn't have the effect that you think it's going to have because you know that you're taking the right strain. And there's a website called whatsmypot.com where you can actually go on there and you answer a bunch of questions and it'll tell you what kind of strain is the one that you should be looking for.
Interesting. The
Yeah.
more you know.
So wouldn't Mr. Burton be proud?
Uh-huh.
Wouldn't Mr. LeVar Burton be proud of how far we've come?
When is this book coming out, though? Is it out already? Is it in the works?
It comes out October 31st.
Okay.
I'm excited. So just a couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Are you going to do another launch party, or are you just going to...
No.
You just going to release it?
I'm just going to release it. My friends and I are going to do something. We'll celebrate. It'll be something small.
I wish I lived in Canada. I would love to be there.
You are welcome to visit anytime.
I gotta get a passport. I can't come see you without. I gotta pay $200 just and plus airline just to see you. But you're worth it. So maybe I should get a passport just.
But you're in Chicago, which is Eastern Canada, Eastern U.S., right?
Yeah, I still need a passport to get over there. I can drive.
Yeah. You can drive.
I can probably drive to where you're at if that's where you're at.
Yeah.
Oh, you're driving distance from me?
Yeah, I'm only in BC.
Okay. Huh. Now this sounds like a road trip.
Oh, I like this idea.
Yes, let's make this happen. This will actually make me get a passport.
Let's make this happen because there's a Black women's business group out here that I would love for you to meet. I think it would be really cool.
Okay. Yeah. Look at this 2024. I'm going to go see Devon.
Yeah, buddy. Let's do it. Yes. I'm excited.
As always, my love, it's been a pleasure talking to you. I mean, I thought because, Kanye wasn't really news right now, we wasn't going to have debates, but it's always we do, and I love them.
I love being here on the show. Thank you so much. I'm really excited. I always get the best letters from your audience on my website after I've been on your show, so thank you.
Thank you. And man, I can't wait to see you. That sounds good to say. And thank you as always for making an appearance on. She has been on every season, you guys. Every season. I know you guys be like, when is Devon coming? Because you are legit a staple of BYOK. And I love that. Yes. And everyone that meets you on my platform, like, oh my God, I love her. So thank you so much for continuously blessing my platform and just me with your friendship. And it's always good to reconnect. So I love that.
Thank you so much for having me. I haven't been doing any podcasts this year because I've been so busy trying to find a place and get out from being homeless and stuff, which was really, really difficult. So to be able to come here and hang out with one of my best friends for an hour and just shoot the shit and talk about what's going on in my life and what's going on in the world really, really means a lot to me. It feels like coming home.
I love you.
I love you too.
All right, well, audience, Devon has made an appearance, and as always, we've learned something more of, at least of, we don't like the same music. That's the gist of it, you know what I'm saying? However, it doesn't separate us. So, but for real.
Look, I listen to Dre, I listen to Eminem, I listen to I listen to all of that. I listen to Lil Wayne.
I'm shocked you listen to Eminem, but okay.
I love Eminem.
I'm shocked because he's very problematic. So I like Eminem, but I'm shocked.
Look, I am a mental health blogger who teaches other people how to get their lives together. I am not a mental health blogger who has her own life together, okay?
Same here. All right, audience, until next time, don't forget to be kind to yourself and to each other. Bye.
Bye, everyone.